Hey, I'm Pronger
Hello.
Faulkner. I'm here today with Jennifer Lockery Lyddiard to talk about our collaboration book called Absolute Will, which was released last month in October 2021. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, it's morning for you, afternoon for me.
It's,
Morning
I
for
still
you
get so
tomorrow.
confused. Yeah. Happy Monday.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday's looking good so far. Just a little heads up. Tuesday's okay so
Perfect.
far.
So the idea for this collaboration came to me earlier this year as I was still working on my first book, and I kept allowing myself to get distracted with other things on my to-do list, as we all know how that goes. One of which was trying to come up with a good way to fundraise for a project that my fiance Mike and I want to do in Nicaragua. And eventually the urge to create an inspirational collaboration got so strong that I knew I needed to get going on it. And I really wanted women from as many countries as possible from around the world to make this a global effort of inspiring others. And I wanted every story to have a health and a willpower aspect to it. So when the idea came to me that a book collaboration would be a perfect way to fundraise, this book suddenly became my #1 priority to make it happen by the end of this year. And as you know, we had some tight timelines. So all of the profits from the author entry fees and the sales through the first month of our launch are going towards Mike and I building a house for a family in Nicaragua who doesn't have a home of their own. I'm so thrilled that we have 21 authors in this book, Jennifer, me, and 19 other amazing women from 7 countries around the world. Our authors are from Canada, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, the United States, Australia, South Africa, and Bulgaria. And we've linked arms to share our personal, vulnerable, insightful, true stories of willpower when facing emotional and mental health crises, physical injuries, and disease. This collaboration has been done completely virtually, which has been fun and challenging. It's been done all through emails, Zoom calls, Facebook Messenger, and with all of us around the world, our time zone differences have made for some challenges. As a real life example, right now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday here for me in mid-Canada, and 8 o'clock Tuesday morning right now for Jennifer in Australia. This book is self-published as well and self-promoted by all of our authors, not done through a traditional publishing house. It's been a grassroots effort, which makes what we've done with it so far all the more incredible. My first book became a bestseller in 2 categories, so I was pretty sure I could do it with absolute will, especially after tweaking some of my marketing strategies, plus the fact that we would have a built-in book launch team with all 21 of us sharing about it. What I didn't expect was that we would hit #1 bestseller in 9 categories across 3 countries, Canada, the US, and Australia, making each of us an international best-selling author. And I also didn't expect we would hit #1 new release in 31 categories across 4 countries, Canada, the US, Australia, and the UK. And this has just been in the first few weeks since the book went live on Amazon. The reviews so far on this book say these stories are raw, real, thought-provoking, heartwarming, life-changing, well-written, and that this book is a fantastic read, can't put it down. The stories are truly inspiring. You feel a personal connection to each of the writer's journeys, and that this book has given so much hope to others. These are all direct quotes from reviews on Amazon. Jennifer's chapter is called Brick by Brick, Chapter 21 in Absolute Will. Thank you so much for being here, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me.
So can you tell everyone a little bit about who you are and where you're from and what your chapter in Absolute Will is about?
Yeah, so I am I'm living here in Australia, and I know I have a really strong Australian accent, so I've been here probably about 20 years, and I can't, I still have that New England twang I just can't get rid of. So born and raised in Connecticut, just outside New York City. And I met a Australian rugby player in a bar one night, and that was it. We had a whirlwind romance and ended up getting married just a couple months later. And here we are 20 years later. And 3 kids. Oldest one is in the Army. and the other two are still at home. And I'm going to keep them here as long as I can. So just sort of, getting to that threshold of learning what it's like to let go of your children's been a bit challenging. I'm a natural therapies practitioner, ex-pharmaceutical. So I went from talking about medication to specialists and general practitioners to talking about all different ways people like myself can manage their health, heal their body, have their mind think in ways that they're meant to think, excuse me, and feel. And I think the balance of the two, the knowledge from pharmaceuticals and reading clinical evidence and understanding how the body works, was such a beautiful transition over to what I'm doing now. So I've been on my own for 3 years, and I've watched my business grow from, one little aromatherapy component to so many different modalities that I get to do now and work with the people in my community. So I really feel this book came at the perfect time to sort of reflect on, where I started from and the challenges that I had from a very early age and how they helped put me where I am today. So my book is about childhood trauma and the transition to dealing with that and having your own children and what that looks like when there's so many things that you don't even remember from a traumatic childhood, and how they sort of come to the surface as an adult when you try and then go and parent these little humans you have in your home, and recognizing that and finding ways that align with how to how to heal my body and my mind going forward.
That's amazing. I love the way that you wrote your chapter as well. It's entertaining from a story perspective, a storytelling perspective, and yet so deep and insightful. It was a really unique way of writing, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's such an interesting perspective on it. And I think, Joe, I think that's kind of the way that I have learned to deal with my issues, is I know they're there and I know they're hard and I know they're difficult and challenging, but I just try and find a way to add some sort of lightness to it and some sort of, humor in some perspective if I can. Just because either I know at the end of the day, it's either cry my eyes out or laugh about it, or, just try and find, the lighter side of what we're dealing with.
Absolutely. And without trying to, push it away or ignore it, you're still dealing with it, but in a way that, is so helpful to other people as well. So when you first found out about this collaboration, what made you decide to jump in?
Oh my gosh, it was a no-brainer. It was, I've been wanting to, I love to write. And I always tell people, I can't change a tire. Don't ask me to do my taxes. Like, numbers and I are like gang wars. I don't get along with numbers, but words I can do. Words I can do. And I've always enjoyed the process of writing. And I'm the person that will jump out of bed first thing in the morning when something comes to mind to write about it. And I was really at the point, it's so interesting, Joe, because the day that you approached me, not long before that, or when I was spoken to Jackie about doing this, it would have been just a couple of days before that, I had written in my diary, start to write a book, because I wanted to write my own. And it's still in my diary.
Wow.
But the thought of doing everything on my own was so overwhelming. I just knew it was going to be too much for me. So this came at just the right time. Because it was such a beautiful way to learn about the process and understand what it was like to sort of delve into that space. So it was an absolute no-brainer for me.
That's amazing that just days before.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like you just manifested it to happen somehow.
Thank you, universe.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Really, the synchronicity of things when you put it out there, there's something magical about writing something down. and just watching things unfold like that never ceases to amaze me.
I know. Wow, that's incredible. So writing brings out different experiences for different people. How was the actual writing process for you? Was it easy? Because you've said that, you know, that you love to write. So was it easy, or did you find anything difficult, or did anything surprise you?
It was not easy. And as someone who can very easily find words to say, particularly when writing, it was really difficult. And it was difficult on a couple different levels, Joe. It was difficult because the emotion that's tied to it and bringing all that stuff up again and trying to figure out how to word it in a way where I was clear and honest with what I was saying. But then one thing I learned about this is thinking about the other people that are involved in the story as well, too. You know, how do you sort of manage, you know, protecting them, but being honest with the story? So that was a whole layer. And then it was, how do you condense such a life? You know, I'm 40 something years old. How do you condense that into, you know, a story of just 2,000 words? So that was a whole interesting challenge and experience in itself. But, you know, really took me by surprise at how hard and challenging I found it.
Well, your chapter didn't come across as that it would have been a challenge for you. So well done. It was.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you would know, you've had to do this a few times now, trying to get it in there.
Yeah, and it is interesting because the book has so many different writing styles, right? 21 of us, and we all have a completely different style. And yet the entire book is such a unique read, which, like, we've gotten so much great feedback, right, from so many people so far.
Yeah.
And I love the addition of your chapter in there, and especially at the end, to just kind of tie it all together nicely.
Thanks. Thank you.
So based on this experience, do you think that you will want to go ahead and write your own book now, or be in another collaboration at some point?
Yeah, I would probably do both of those. I have, I don't know if you can see it up here, but there's a little frame up there, and I've had it there for a while, and it says I should be writing. So that's my inspiration to keep going down, this experience. So absolutely.
Amazing. So what's your top piece of advice for someone that might be thinking that they want to become a published author?
Gosh, I would, if they have no idea what they're doing like me, I would suggest getting in touch with someone like you who knows how to walk through the process, because I think we all have a story, and we all have something really unique and beautiful to share. And I think holding out for trying to take on such a big task by yourself can really put that whole experience off, almost to the point where it never could happen. So having someone to hold your hand and take you through what that looks like, and the journey and the experience of it, makes that so much easier to focus on the story itself, rather than, you know, the unknown nitty-gritty of what happens behind the scenes.
That's awesome. And yes, there is a lot of nitty-gritty. A lot.
My hat to you.
Even I didn't realize how much it was going to be, because I, even like having done my own book, I knew the, you know, the majority of the process, but then when you include 20 other people, that was an aspect that I hadn't done before. So yeah, it was a good learning experience for me as well. And I feel like we all really embraced the fact that we were learning this together as we went along. And yeah, it's been such an honor for me too, to have you and to have everyone else in this together. I feel like we're a little family now.
Yeah, it's been really such a unique way to get to know people, you know, all around the world. I never in a million years thought that would have, you know, fallen in my lap. So I'm super grateful for you for organizing this experience as well.
Oh, thank you. So what are you up to in addition to your writing, and what's next for you?
Wow, I am just in the middle of doing I'm surprised I have any hair left right now. I'm finishing my yoga practitioner, which I'm just about done with. So I've got my final exam this week, doing a big construction on my studio that I have on my property to add a yoga studio and a gym and an extra consult room, and all of these other things are going on there. So it's this beautiful stage of growth, and I'm looking forward to it. But you know, when you're on the cusp of, you know, all of these big things, you're kind of a little more frazzled than usual.
A little overwhelmed.
A little overwhelmed. So I did have to put a little extra mascara on this morning to not look like to hide the bags under my eyes.
I've got the bright lights going from the sleepless nights, but to be doing even one of those things, the yoga practitioner, that's a ton of work. And then a construction, you know, project, that's a ton of work. Good on you.
All good stuff though. I know, it's all good stuff. I'm not complaining. But the plate's full, but you know, it's all good things on there.
And like you said, it's for, you know, forward progress and for, you know, your future, which is so cool. And I love that you came from the pharmaceutical side and now you're so much more into wellness, which, you know, do you feel like that gave you a bit more of a perspective into what the wellness side of things can do for us, having seen probably some inside stuff in the pharmaceutical side that maybe not a lot of us get to see?
Yeah. There's so much I can say right now, but I'm just going to try and be right in the middle with my opinion on things. I think it was such a gift. One, it gave me the ability to speak in front of people who I initially found very intimidating. So you imagine, you know, walking into talking to a cardiologist who, you know, opens chests and fixes people's hearts all day long. And all of his team members sitting around and have to speak on, you know, really significant medical information. That taught me to then start to, you know, speak in, you know, in the aromatherapy forum and some of the other groups that I work with. But more significantly, it taught me about clinical evidence and how to research and, you know, how to break down a clinical study and what that means. So when I first delved into aromatherapy and how it works, so going from you take a pill and this is meant to fix you, to pulling a little bottle out of my cupboard and kind of going, well, can I kind of do this myself? Am I able to fix myself? Is this possible? Which then allowed me to look at the clinical evidence that surrounds aromatherapy. And my mind was completely blown at the, you know, thousands and thousands of you know, documented scientific evidence that supports, you know, how, you know, modern medicine compares to, you know, traditional medicine. And it was a really empowering moment and experience. And because of that, you know, that wow moment for me makes me just jump out of bed to be able to teach people how to take their own health into their own hands. And, you know, having a joyful day and a peaceful moment and a banging night's sleep is not out of your reach. And it doesn't have to be done through your doctor or, you know, from a pharmacy. There's ways to sort of take your health into your own hands. So yes, to answer your question.
I love that. All right. So if you have enjoyed getting to know more about Jennifer and want to connect with her, you can do that through her website, gumtreewellness.com. Jennifer, thank you so much for being in this collaboration and for your time today on a Tuesday, Monday interchange. I'm so honored that you chose to share your story in absolute will. Thank you so much.
Oh, Joe, I'm so thankful you gave me a platform to do it. And, you know, I know that all of us agree that we hope, you know, at least a little bit of our story resonates and helps someone else out there who's in the same situation as we are.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.